Well, looks like I was wrong about the government crackdown on people sponging off the state not working. The threat of having his money reduced while he's sick has prompted the king to return to public-facing work. In fairness, even during his illness, he's been working hard, doing things like meeting the Prime Minister, reading, and signing things. Now, though, he'll have a phased return to his public appearances, as well as attending a lavish, ridiculously expensive state visit from the Emperor of Japan, always assuming his personal team of doctors and advisors think it's okay for him. In the same way we get a team of highly trained specialists attending us at home. Well, a private company team of untrained people who get bonuses for sending us back to work, who we meet in a sterile, imposing government building for half an hour. Well enough time for them to make an informed decision on us. Although the royals must be doing something right, because the king has given Camilla the Grand Master of the Order of the British Empire. He's given William the Great Master of the Order of the Bath, and Kate is a Companion of Honour. So they'll have even more stupid medals and ribbons to wear on state occasions. I do wonder what they say if foreign dignitaries ask what the medals are for. Now, you don't get that kind of accolade for just being who you are. Nothing for Andrew, surprisingly. Maybe there's not a grand order of fiddlers. On the subject of cutting benefits for the sick and disabled, did you know that just after that big announcement, Sunak quietly scrapped the Work and Health programme, which helped the disabled people get back to work? It's almost as if cruelty was hardwired into him. Another major policy announcement was the increase in defence spending to 2.5% of GDP. The fact they haven't done this during their 14 years in power doesn't at all make it look like it's a trap for the Labour Party, and they've already started that attack. And Ben Wallace, a previous Secretary of State for Defence, came out to support it by joining the board of British Hound Sports Association, an organisation that supports hunting. Because if we can't manage a full-scale war, hunting down and killing a defenceless animal is their second best option. There was a big announcement on housing as well, where to nobody's surprise, the party with 87 MPs who are landlords didn't get rid of no-fault evictions, something they promised in their 2019 manifesto. They have, however, finally got the Rwanda scheme into law. There's that cruelty again. A scheme that says refugees won't risk their lives crossing the channel in small boats because they'll get to a safe country that shoots refugees who complain about not being fed properly and is currently funding war and is actually at war with neighbouring Congo. Although Chris Philp, representing the government on Question Time, didn't seem to know Rwanda and Congo were in fact different countries. And he's a former immigration minister. And Charles Moore, or to give him his full title, Baron Moore of Etchingham, was on Question Time too. He said Rwanda wasn't a primitive African country. We didn't think it was, but it's obvious the way he sees it. Must be something to do with that colonial past we keep denying exists. It'll come as no surprise to anyone that he's a Brexit-backing Tory peer, educated at Eton, was the editor at Spectator, Daily Telegraph and Sunday Telegraph, worked for the Policy Exchange right-wing think tank, and wrote a biography of Margaret Thatcher. One unseen outcome has been refugees heading to Ireland. Now, using the government's own previously stated logic, Ireland should return them to the last safe place they were in, the UK. The patriots were out of force on St George's Day, gathering in London draped in Union Jack flags and showing how England, maybe Britain, maybe the UK, most of them don't know the difference, could be without left wokies trying to stick up for human rights. They proved their patriotism by attacking the police, fighting and hitting horses in the face. Rule fucking Britannia. James Cleverly, the 8th Home Secretary under this government, has been busy reporting some good crime figures, forgetting to mention a 37% increase in shoplifting, a 7% increase in knife crime, which is actually up 81% in 8 years, and a 30% increase in robbery. Although they've stopped counting incidents of domestic abuse and don't count fraud at all. He also forgot to mention that 90% of crimes go unpunished. Surprising then that, going back to the Rwanda scheme, the Prime Minister has managed to find 25 courts and hundreds of judges to look at deportations, even though the criminal justice system is on its knees. Maybe things are starting to turn around though. Rishi has been ordered to reveal details of his involvement with and profits from the hedge fund that invested in Moderna during the pandemic. But no doubt he'll have lost the WhatsApps and won't remember anything, but it's a start. Let's just hope Labour keep their promise to investigate the VIP contracts and that we see jail time for these criminals. Now that'll be worth raising a glass to. Makes you feel like celebrating, doesn't it? Until you remember that a change in alcohol rules next year will make normal wine more expensive. But guess what? Champagne will be cheaper, so enjoy your Bollinger and your Moet. That and your food being more expensive thanks to Brexit makes these fun times. There's talk of the election being called on Monday for the summer, and a Tory MP has even swapped over to Labour because he thinks the NHS is unsafe with the Tories. He still works as a doctor, not the sort of second job that rakes in millions for your family, and was previously the health minister, so he knows what he's talking about. There's a few things you can do to get better informed before the election. The first is to subscribe to this channel and share content, and why not choose notifications while you're at it? Second, listen to a podcast called The Trawl, because politics doesn't have to be boring. Don't listen to the government lies, which is pretty much everything they say these days, and don't let them manipulate you. Question why they do things and how they will benefit. And finally, visit www.stopthetories.vote and find out how to vote tactically to get the fuckers out.